Hi everyone, Menachem Brodie here with you once again from Vortex Training. Today to talk to you about how to prepare your bike to ride in the rain. So the first thing we're going to talk about is actually going to be fenders. This is one of the cheapest and best ways to help weatherproof your bike, so to speak. Now the thing with this is these are the SKS race blade. All you need to get these set up is an awl, a pen, as well as maybe perhaps a drill if you prefer. But it's very simple. You're able to go through. You can see I've already adjusted this one here from my other bike. And what these do is they go onto the frame pretty simply on the back side. Now the thing with the race blade is you need to make sure that you're getting for the right size tires that you have on your bike. So these are up to 25, and I have 25 tires on right now with my Conti Gator Skins, which are giving me some great winter tires. And you'll notice how simple these are to set up on the bike. They just snap right on. All I need to do is make sure that I have the right height. I've done this a couple times, so I do know that this is set up properly. But when you're first setting it up, you want to make sure that your brake housing is going to be okay. The brake caliper is going to be clear and it's not going to be rubbing, as well as making sure that the wheel is going to have clearance at the back and not rub. So pretty simple and easy to put on. The front wheel is a little bit more challenging because you have the external cable routing out here. So we want to be careful whenever we're setting up the front wheel. You can look at the different manufacturers have different ways of setting up. Some of you may decide that you want one specific type of fenders for one bike, but as you can see, pretty simple and easy. The other thing you can do is there's ass savers, which just plug in underneath your saddle, even with the saddle bag, and it's just a piece of plastic that goes out here. The SKS race blade is going to run you somewhere between $50 and $80, depending on the size you're getting and which version you're getting, but definitely worth it. This expands my ride abilities out into the rain. It's very, very comfortable. I really enjoy riding in the rain. Maybe I'm just not right in the head, I don't know, but there's just something about being on the road, training and riding when no one else is. Step number 2 is making sure you have the right lube. So this is very important because a lot of people take something like this Rock and Roll Gold, which is really made for dry conditions. So it's much better to have something like this Pedro's Sin Lube, which is made for rainy and wet and cold conditions. So what this is, it's much more viscous or a thicker lube, which is better for wet and muddy conditions because it's going to stay, whereas the dry lube is going to kind of come off whenever it gets wet out there, whatever mud and dirt. Now, before you put this on, before a rain ride, what you need to do is take a chain degreaser and make sure that you're degreasing the whole chain. Wash it off with water, and then you can apply your new lube afterward, following the instructions by the manufacturer on the label. But this is very important because the last thing you want to do is go out on a ride with the chain with the dry lube on it. You get halfway through, you have a squeaky chain. It's not good for the chain ring, it's not good for the cassette or any of the other components, so really important. Along with the regular Sin Lube, you want to make sure that you have set up for your safety. We want to have nice bright lights that have different settings. This is my favorite for rain. This is a Ravex. You can see here it's flashing pretty bright. It's catching your attention. And this is going to be very important. There are lights to see and lights to be seen. We want to make sure that we're picking the lights to be seen and to see, especially if you're going to go out in the evening. So that's going to mean more expensive lights, much bigger, either the Stella 120 or a nicer headlight to ride so that people will stick out. The last part is making sure you're wearing yellow. So some type of yellow or high-vis orange is very important for you. There's a lot of equipment out there made for rain that's black or gray. I would try and avoid that unless it's highly reflective, because we want to make sure that you're seen out on the road whenever it's rainy and wet. There's so many different lights coming up, you can't really see. So just bear that in mind as you go out for your next rain ride. But what we talked about today is making sure you get fenders, or at least an ass saver, which sticks in under here, to keep the mud off of your backside, and with the fenders to keep the rain and mud and water out from the eyes of the rider behind you. Number 2 is to make sure you clean your chain with degreaser and then add an appropriate wet weather, muddy condition lube. Step 3 is going to be having nice lights that are going to allow you to be seen and stick out on the road. The last part is going to be make sure you're wearing high visibility clothing. So bright yellow with reflective striping is always a good idea. And make sure you're spending a little bit more on that forward headlight and back headlight so you can see. So until next time, train smarter, not harder. Enjoy riding in the wet weather. Oh, one more thing. As soon as you come back from your ride, you need to wash the bike off. Don't wait for it. I know you're coming back, you're wet, maybe you're cold, hopefully not. but you're coming in and you're like, oh, I just want to get out of my clothing. Get out of your clothing, take the bike either with the hose outside or take it into the shower. As you can see here, mine barely fits, but I do get the dirt off right away, because if you let it dry, it's going to be caked on there. It's going to be hard to get off. It's kind of like cement, so make sure you're rinsing the bike off. I do not recommend a power washer, but at least wash the bike off. So until next time, train smarter, not harder. Enjoy your rain ride, and remember, it is all about you.